Thank you for tuning in. Kazra here with you. This is one of our first episodes for our weekly videos. There's no special setup. It's just me talking to you. And I want to get right into it. You're going to get these videos maybe 3 times a week to start. If it requires more, then we'll do more. But I will base that upon the feedback that you give me. So I want to talk about how important it is to know your why. I know it's cliche. Everyone says you need to know your why. We've all heard it before, but I think we underestimate the power of understanding your why. I went into the payment processing space maybe 15 years ago now, and I started off with just wanting more time with my family. I was working at the elementary school in the inner city. The only project area in Orlando, Florida, is this particular area is where the school was located, right? An elementary school. And I started working there as a volunteer in a program that was associated with it, not even actually with the school. And then eventually I worked my way up, right? And I became an employee, a W-2 employee at this particular school. Then after about 2 or 3 years, I bust my butt. I had never worked this hard before in my life. And I've worked at FedEx before. I've worked at the UPS for one day, right? I unloaded a ton of boxes at UPS and was like, this is not for me. So I take my head off to all those people out there. But then I worked at FedEx before as well. And that's still, you're working on a conveyor belt, just basically loading boxes on a conveyor belt, taking them off and loading them onto a truck. So I've worked hard before, right? I've had family members that had me digging gardens. We had land in Michigan, up north Michigan that is, and I remember working that. But I've never worked like I work at this particular elementary school. So I was hired for one thing, but they had me doing everything else. I was the teacher's assistant with a walkie-talkie or radio on me. I worked as I helped the dean with discipline. Students sometimes, unfortunately, they were given certain types of medication to calm them down. Maybe they didn't take it, maybe it didn't work, maybe they really didn't need it, maybe they just weren't interested in the material at the school, right? Maybe they had family issues. Nonetheless, I helped the dean with that. I helped watch the children when the teacher would have to go to the bathroom or needed a break. I also did a lunchroom duty, crossing guard duty, literally crossing guard duty. I worked in the after school program. I even helped tutor students for some of their statewide tests that were mandated. And I tell you, I take my head off to teachers because some of those tests are kind of complicated. I recall, and I'm getting to the point here, but I recall reading, helping a student with their math problem. It was a word problem, it was a math problem. And I read it and I was like, you tell me what you think it means, because I didn't freaking know what it means, right? So I take my hat off to teachers. And I have a finance degree, I have a engineering, robotics, technology degree. I still didn't know, so I take my hat off again. So anyway, I'm getting to the point. I never worked that hard before. And I got to a point where I felt, my income wasn't equivalent to the amount of work I was doing. Because, in the school system, you gradually go up. When I say gradually go up in income. And it would have taken me, according to what I calculated in the positions that were available in the educational system, in the amount of tenure or time you had to be there, it would have taken me like 10 years just to get to like $70,000, $80,000 in Florida. So I was like, and it was so stressful to work in that position, even if you're in administration or not. It was just a very stressful job. And so I remember missing my children's games and my daughter's dance and my son's baseball practice. I felt like I was missing out on life. I even wanted to just exercise in the morning myself at a particular time, and I couldn't do it because I was confined and restricted to this particular school. And I remember, it wasn't like I didn't have any motivation to work, because I also did the video editing, I did the video shooting, I built the websites, I wrote letters on behalf of the principal. I did a ton of freaking different things. I even helped the custodian out if I had to, right? I did a ton of different things. So, but I still felt like it was unfulfilling because it was a glass ceiling in terms of income, like super glass, not even a glass ceiling, a brick ceiling, right? Like a real ceiling where you couldn't even see the income, right? Because like I said, it would take you 10 years just to, get to a decent income. And so I remember finding a position online for a payment processing position, 100% sales, 100% sales. And so I jumped on it, right? I flew out to California, and there was definitely some troubles even getting there. I gave my job a notice that I was leaving. I told them that my family member was sick or something like that. And I remember, leaving a comfortable position and then going into a position where it was a 100% commission. I'm going to speed up the story now. And I jumped in, couldn't do anything initially, and I figured out how to freaking sell. I really figured it out, right? And I was the best salesperson the first year and the second year. And then, I had to leave the entity for several reasons. And I was the best salesperson somewhere else and somewhere else. And then I remember at this first entity, though, doing this whole about a 2-year period, I felt like I was relieved. I felt like I made it. And I had more money. I tripled my income the first 8 months. I quadrupled it the next year. And I remember, I'm a guy of ethics and morals and things like that. And then I remember to myself saying, I just woke up one day and said, how in the hell did I get here? Like, how did I get to this place where I'm making more money than I've ever made before? I have more freedom than I've ever had before, more control of my life in certain aspects, but I'm with a company or an entity that has money as the sole purpose. And so all kinds of unethical tactics and strategies and things were done, but I was so focused on the money at that particular time that I lost my whole why. And so I began making money, but I spent more time with my family, but after a while I spent less time with my family, right? Because my whole goal was money. There's the pursuit of money. And when money is your sole focus, there is going to be so many things that you will do that you will regret. For one, hopefully you regret it if you have any kind of ethics or moral or conscience about you. And then two, you will lose sight of the real impact that you can have in this world. I think I'm particularly have a natural talent for connecting to people, to relating to people, and to making people feel important and special. But when money is the sole object, you lose that. And then now it becomes money and people become secondary. And I remember reading a quote where it said something like, great leaders will sacrifice, certain types of leaders will sacrifice people for numbers, but great leaders will sacrifice numbers for people. And that's how it should be. So know your why before you get into it and stick with it. Be good. We'll have part 2 of this on the next episode.